to Ryan Campbell Soup to Nuts. What's good? What's up, my people? What? So, in this video, I'm gonna be getting the good old engine ready to throw into the old 350Z. If that's okay with you, we shall proceed in enjoying this wonderful video together. You are tuned in to Ryan Campbell Soup to Nuts. I was born this way. It has nothing to do with my childhood. Maybe a little. Who knows what kind of irreparable damage I experienced during my childhood. I don't remember half of the crap. Lord knows what was going on. I'm going to be getting the engine ready to throw in. I got to put the subframe that I previously bolted the power steering rack to. I already have the mounts on the engine. They're not tight, but they're snug. So I just got to put the subframe underneath the engine. I got to lift the engine up with the trans. The trans is already bolted to it. Ow, I'm getting poked here. Don't you hate it when you're wearing like clothing and then like, it grabs onto like a random hair on your body and just like tortures you? Just like puts you through hell? Yeah, that's lovely, ain't it? So the engine's already bolted to the trans, or the trans is already bolted to the engine. For people that aren't caught up to date, basically putting a twin turbo engine into my 350Z that was out of another 350Z they got in an accident with, and I'm rebuilding this one here. But the next step is getting the old vroom girl inside of it. I do have to make one little bracket. I'll show you really quick before I actually bolt the subframe up. So that's going to be the first step. And then we're going to bolt subframe up, and then hopefully everything goes okay, and we'll be throwing the engine in. Hopefully, if I run into problems, I might chop up this video, might not get to bolting the engine in, but I'm being optimistic, and I think it'll happen. Come this way, and I'll show you where I need to make a bracket. It's right over. Come on, let's go. Wait, move your. Come on! Kevin's waiting outside! We don't got all day here! Okay, I'll get you. Okay, so, you see these two little bolts here? These two bolts? They're just hand tight there. This one isn't even tight. But on the factory harness, there's built into the harness, it's like taped into the harness and everything. There is a bracket that goes onto here that O2 wires or everything could kind of zip tie to, or there might be like a little hole in a connector or something like that. But this harness, I don't have it. So what we're gonna do, and I don't want to rip apart the other harness on the other engine because that's perfectly bone stock. I don't want to tamper with anything. I want to leave it because I might be using that engine for something else later. So I'm gonna make out of aluminum, so we don't have any rust issues or anything like that. I'm gonna make like a little bracket. Obviously, you gotta put two holes, obviously, for the bolts. I'm gonna put one hole kind of in between the two bolts, and I'm gonna put another hole down lower. That way, I have a couple options of where to zip tie things and whatnot. It gives me a little option. If I'm making it, might as well make it a little extra. So, hey, you're gonna see that next. That went pretty well. It's as good as it could go, considering the equipment I have. I would down the road like to get some better equipment, bandsaws, drill presses, and other type of equipment. Equipment. I want some equipment. I want to get some better stuff. As time goes, to be able to do more things more easily. So I'll show you what I did though. So obviously, I already kind of zip tie some things here, but this little bracket here is what I made. I showed you in the time lapse. So there's 4 holes. So there's a bolt here, bolt kind of here. It's hard to see. Well, you kind of see it. There you go. Bolt there, and then hole here and hole down low. So I I kind of zip tie. Basically, my main concern was all these wires running here. I wanted to keep them away from the dump tube and downpipe. Keep it away from the exhaust. So I got it all tied up tight, and it's nice and secure, not going anywhere. Got zip tied here. I just want to keep everything. Same thing. I still have to zip tie a little bit underneath, but I got these two wires that are going across the other side. So I got everything organized here, rerouted, and I know it still looks like spaghetti, but it's, you know, it's okay. It's okay. Okay. Alright, so next thing, I'm going to time lapse putting the subframe over there. That guy there, that has a power steering rack. I'll give you a closer shot here. In case you didn't see the other video of me putting it on, I think it was a time lapse. So basically, I got the power steering rack bolted onto the subframe here. So basically, the motor mount, there's one on each side, but this is the driver's side. I already have it loosely mounted. You can see it's wobbling, so it's loose. But basically, it sits right in there, and there's a nut that goes from underneath that has to be bolted in. So, the next thing you're going to see, is this old boy here. Putting this guy there, underneath that guy there. Actually, you know what? I just thought about it. I just remembered, and as you know, I like to switch things up sometimes, and you know, because my brain doesn't work properly most of the time. What I'm gonna do? I remember when I put the engine up and in, the steering column shaft here. This guy here coming down. Very, very difficult to line up perfectly. Because when you're lifting the engine up, it moves around a little bit, and it's kind of hard. So basically what I have to do, I'm going to come in here, governor. So basically this whole thing, there's I think 4 bolts maybe, for the whole steering column that's holding it up. And might be another bracket or something like that in there that I have to take off. So basically I just want to drop this down and pull it back a little bit so that way it's basically out of the way. And then once the engine's in there, I'll put it back in. That's what we're gonna do next. So that's what you'll see next. All right, before I got going, I just wanted to show you what I have to take apart. So there's a bolt here, and basically the same thing on the other side. It's kind of hard get at and see, but look up there. There, you can see the bolt there, kind of in the middle of the screen. So you gotta take those two, and then there's two. One is it's hard to get in here with the camera, and it's kind of tight, but where my finger is. See my finger moving? So there's a stud that comes out, there's a nut that goes on there, and then this side has a bolt. Straight. There we go. Kind of in the middle of the screen. I know this lighting is kind of sucky. It's really tight, but basically right in the middle there, you kind of see. I'll put a circle around it in the when I edit the video. I'll put a circle around this. And then, underneath, there's this bolt and nut. I'm pretty sure I have to take off. I only did this once before, so I don't remember perfectly, but there's like a little retaining clip where my thumb is, a little plastic retaining clip that keeps this from sliding out if the nut incidentally comes off. And then, I don't remember 100% positive, I might have to take, there's 4 nuts here that hold this like boot, whatever the hell you want to call it, in place. I might have to take them off. I don't remember 100%. I'll find out once I get into it, once I start taking this apart. But basically, these 4, the 2 going straight up and the 2 going straight back, those definitely have to come out. I think this one has to come out. I'll take the 4 down and I'll see if it comes, and if it doesn't come, then I'll just keep going, and I'll just keep going one step at a time at that point. But I know these 4 do have to come out, so we're gonna time lapse it.
made a little mistake, but also learning. A lot of this stuff too, I'm learning as well at the same time. You know, it's only the second time I did this, and I made a mistake this time. But I did learn that I don't have to take apart as much as I first thought. So that's, I guess, good news. Bad news is I broke a clip. All these bolts I told you, going up underneath and going straight in, you don't have to touch them. No, don't bother touching them. I also thought, because I thought I was going to drop the whole damn thing, so I thought this guy, whatever it is, a HVAC controller or something, I don't even know what it is, to be honest with you. Braking systems. I guess it has something to do with anti-lock, I don't know. You can look up that part number if you want. I don't know, whatever it is, some kind of control unit. So basically this boot that I told you had 4 nuts, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, you know, like 2 on each side. So this whole thing, this you basically have to take those nuts off, and then this piece of plastic here, yeah, that's broken. I forgot about it. It kind of clips over it's like a safety feature, just so your steering column doesn't come apart off of your steering wheel. So it makes sense, but so that bolt that went through here, that I took that bolt off and slid it out. It does have a retaining, actually no, the broken clip goes here where my thumb is. This part here is like a retaining part on the bolt that the nut screws onto. So if the nut comes off, it still has this plastic thing holding it in place. But so I took that off, and then that connects the steering column from the steering wheel, and it has like a little union, like a little knuckle. So you just gotta swing that knuckle up and out of the way, and then this clip here, it kind of holds that knuckle onto. This is the steering shaft that goes down into the engine bay. So it kind of holds the knuckle on there. So I was supposed to pry this up a little bit to slide it off, but I didn't, forgot about it, cracked it. So the other Z, so basically just, you know, took that apart. Don't crack it, just pry it up to slide it off. Bolt nut, 4 nuts, take it off. I did have to get a screwdriver kind of behind this metal because it was just kind of stuck, sort of. So I just had to pop it off, sort of. And then just swung it, pulled it in out of the way. So I'm pretty sure the other 350 outside does have that plastic clip, so I could rob off of that, or I'm going to the dealer or whatever. If it doesn't cost too much, I'll just buy another one. Just make it easier. Also, I do want to make that into a drift car, so I'm guessing that is something that I'm going to be needing on that car too. So, but before I put everything back together with the steering, definitely putting that clip on, because safety is definitely priority. That's the most important thing, is safety. If you lose, your steering wheel comes off, even though I don't think it really make a difference, but every little bit of added safety feature helps with steering. If you lose your steering, you are... I didn't make a sound there, so I didn't have to bleep it out. I self-edited, I self-bleeped. There you go. I'm catching on to this YouTube crap. So next thing you're going to see is time-lapse. I'm putting that subframe I previously showed you under the engine. So that's what you're going to be viewing next. I hope you like it. I think you will. We'll see. All right. Take care. Don't leave. Don't take care. Enjoy the time-lapse. Now. Unpleasant, if I do say so myself. It wasn't horrible, but the bolt, I'll show you on the passenger side mount underneath that goes through to bolt the mount to the subframe, not the one on top. There's not a bolt, there's a nut. There's a nut on the top and none on the bottom. The bottom one, it was just, the angle is in, it's really tight. You can see up against the bench, there's not a lot of space. You can see in between the engine and the bench. So I'm not the smallest of guys. I'm on the I'm on the big and tall side. But I got it all bolted in, so I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So you can see this is the mount. This is the driver's side. This wasn't too hard here, but this is the mount here, and you have the nut on top. So the stud on the top and bottom is basically built into the mount. So you got the nut on the top, and then you've got a nut. Let's see if you can see it. Yeah, you can kind of see it. You see the stud. You see the right there, the nut. That's at the bottom. So obviously you can see it's kind of a little bit of a tight fit to get my hand up and in there and get tools in there. So, but I got it done. It was a little tough, but and then I also realized over here this heat shielding, heat wrap I did around the coolant. I think it's the feed. I'm guessing it's the coolant feed. Whatever, the coolant line here. Then I put a new wrap around because it was all ripped up and torn up. I noticed it was really tight. The way it was situated was really tight up against. This is the steering rack. This is where the I'm drawing a blank. This is where the rod. This is where you shove your rod. I shoved my rod right in this hole. I'm figuring it now. So, but it was really tight to this union, and this is obviously, it spins and turns when you turn the steering wheel. So I didn't want it right up in here and start rubbing and get caught or whatever the case. So I did zip tie it off. If you can see, yeah, you can kind of see. I know the silver is kind of, the shininess is kind of screwed up. I zip tied it off to hold it back. And then that's pretty much where we're at. I got everything ready to go. I got this guy here. The side you can see is a little tighter. I got more lines and crap on this side too, and it's tighter here to the bench. But the engine here, boo 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 boo, grab its boobies. I gotta swing this all around. I got crap over here, engine hoist, engine trans, obviously. So I gotta basically kind of swing it in, and then I'm gonna set up the camera over here. It's not really a good spot for me to set up the camera right now because I got junk over there too, bunch of car stuff. So I'm going to do that off camera and then set the camera up over here and then have video go, and fingers crossed we'll have a good short section of the video there. Mwah. Oh, you're too kind. Oh, you're too kind. Coming back at ya. Got the old Big Bertha girl here. Got her swung around a little bit. I'm going to readjust the camera so you can see a little bit more of the engine. You can see it right now. It's just a little too high because I'm a tall son of a biatch. So I'm going to adjust a little bit lower and then just let the camera roll. I'm going to get cranking and do my damn thing. Do it! I just want to make sure all of the hoses and everything will line up right and aren't stuck in a spot before I bolt it up. If I bolt it up, then I got to unbolt it to drop it if something I can't move or fit something or hose or anything. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk! Transmount bolts are snug. Not tight yet. Now put these guys in first. It's in! Yeah, what? Hey! Oh! Yeah! 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 All bolted in tight. Snaggers ain't bugging ain't right. Alright, so everything all tightened up, all that crap. Did have a little leaking oil from the engine when it got tilted a little bit because I ain't put this oil return line on yet. And got a little leak in power steering fluid from this hose, I guess. I don't know. It's been sitting here for a while. I don't know why it leaked yet. But I guess it got jostled around and decided doing some dripping activity. So I just got to clean up a little bit. It dripped on the floor here. I got a little messy puppy. I got to potty train him. I noticed earlier, I didn't mention this yet, that this pulley here got a little damage in the accident. As you can tell, I got slightly smushed, so I don't know if anything internally is messed up or not, so I bought a new one of this. I also noticed this belt here. This guy will get out of the way. The belt here got ripped somehow, so I ordered a new belt too. So we're replacing both of those things. Made some damn progress finally. Maybe I bought a little bit of time for people to get off my back. That something actually got done, that you can actually physically see. It's not just little, tiny little things here and there. I mean, an engine's in the car now. So I just got to do a little cleanup activities here, but I'll do that off camera. Also I showed you in the time lapse when I was putting the subframe under the engine. I forgot to tell you, I also did a time lapse of putting the transmission mount under the back of the transmission. That's all part of the same time lapse. So you already saw that at this point. I mean, I just wanted to tell you what you're looking at, though. So stay tuned, please. Please give me a subscribe down here. Please like the video. That'll help me out, and I very thoroughly appreciate it. Also, check me out on all my socials. They're in the description. Some good stuff there as well. And so, coming up soon, next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to at least, I'm not going to connect everything, but I'm going to start running the wiring into the car where it needs to go, just to make sure everything lines up and I don't have any issues, any crazy thing I overlooked or missed. And then, as long as I know everything is going to line up or whatever the case, then I'm going to go and start attacking the suspension, putting all the suspension back together. Because I do want to, even before the front end's all done and all that stuff, I want to put the car on the ground with the wheels, turn the wheels, make sure everything lines up and whatnot. I also have to hook up this power steering rack, so that's all coming up. So please, stay tuned! If you would, it would be very much appreciated. In the meantime, drive fast, take chances.